Hello, I'm Jason, grandson of Henry. I don't really believe in coincidence, or rather God's sovereignty. I found it very interesting that about 2 weeks ago, 3 days before Henry passed, I was at a county fair and in a genealogy booth looking up my grandfather's signature on a 1940 census. And I find it interesting that just before he passed on, I was looking at about the beginning of his life when he was 13 or 14. And here we are together and remember the life of my grandfather. And unfortunately, I may not know my grandfather as well as some of you here. I'm so honored to be able to say a few words over his life. Now, because I may not know him all as well, my dad, Dwayne, and Uncle Dennis helped me with some of the information that I have today. First off, Dwayne and Dennis were by far his favorite kids. But in all honesty, he was very proud of all his kids. Janice, Miles, James, Dwayne, and Dennis. He never really had any pretension about his kids. He never really bragged about them. But he was just very proud of them. Very proud of his grandkids as well. Now, through his life, he's part of a few different memorable events in history. He's decorated World War II, as you see on your card. He fought in the Aegis Theater at a place called Busan, and literally fought hand to hand because the jungle was so dense there. Now, as part of a Koslowski tradition, I was fortunate enough to hear some of his stories sitting around the dinner table long after dinner has finished. Now, I'm told that this tradition actually started in Dolan, South Dakota at Sunday brunch after church, and where everybody gathered and just talked and told stories. Grandpa just loved conversation so much that he would even talk to everyone, anywhere he could find them. One of my most vivid memories of my grandpa was, if we were ever going to church or somewhere important, he always wore a cowboy hat. And it didn't matter if his shoes were tattered, his shirt was untucked. He had his cowboy hat so all well at that moment. But I mean, he grew up on a farm, and I was kind of considered dressing up. So, now, because he grew up on a farm, most kids growing up on farms never really finished school, and he was no exception. He finished in 7th grade. But then I recently found out that he went back and got his GED in the 70s, which is good enough diploma. So after talking to my dad, Dennis, about the life of my grandfather, it's clear that my grandpa was a ladies' man. What I mean by that is that the ladies in his life gave him purpose and direction. He loved his mom, Tekla. He loved his sisters. He loved his wife, Marceline. He gave him 5 kids. He loved his daughters. Because of this, when he retired, he liked living as a nomad. He liked traveling around, living with his daughters and their families. He lived with Marlis and Eric in Colorado. Then he went to live with Janice and Daniel and Marceline. He even lived with his little sister, Rita. Every once in a while, he would come with us for a few weeks at a time. When he did come and stay with us, I got to see a bit of his devotion to Jesus. He would watch Mass on TV if he couldn't make it to church. It's pretty much every day he'd watch Mass on TV. I was then told by my dad that this devotion started a long time ago, when he made his kids go to church no matter how late they were out the night before. So it's this devotion to Jesus that I feel that I can say and agree with Father Christopher that funeral, we're here to remember Henry's life and not to say goodbye, but rather to say, see you later. Now, although Henry may not have ever never said thank you to some people who helped his family through some very hard times over difficult years. So I'm going to take this moment just on behalf of Janice, Marlis, James, Dwayne, and Dennis to say thank you to the Rockies, Clarence Shocker, Donald Shocker family, and the Koslowski's family for holding them together over some very difficult years. So in closing, I think in these times we get these moments to reflect on our own lives, the legacy we will leave to the people around us, and our belief in Jesus that will move us into the next life.